Have you ever bought your dream house, only to find it came with a living nightmare? That's exactly what happened to the Broaddus family in Westfield, New Jersey. In June 2014, Derek and Maria Broaddus purchased a beautiful 6-bedroom home at 657 Boulevard for $1.3 million. They were ecstatic, ready to move in with their 3 young children. But just 3 days after closing, before they even moved in, the first letter arrived. Addressed to the new owner, the letter was chilling. It welcomed them to the neighborhood, but the welcome was far from warm. The writer claimed their family had been watching 657 Boulevard for generations. They mentioned specific details about the house, like its upcoming renovations. The letter then took an even more sinister turn, asking, "Do you need to fill the house with the young blood I requested? Once I know their names, I will call to them and draw them to me." The author signed off simply as the Watcher. Naturally, the Broaddus family was terrified. They immediately contacted the previous owners, the Woods family. The Woods revealed they had also received a strange, but not threatening, letter from the Watcher just before they moved out. They had dismissed it as a prank and thrown it away. The Broaddus family, however, couldn't be so dismissive. They went to the Westfield police, who launched an investigation, advising the couple not to tell their neighbors about the letters, as everyone was now a suspect. 2 weeks later, a second letter arrived. This one was even more personal and disturbing. It addressed Derek and Maria by name, and even spelled their names correctly, though their last name is spelled as Broaddus. The Watcher mentioned their children by their nicknames and birth order. The letter read, "I am pleased to know your names now and the name of the young blood you have brought to me." It asked which bedrooms the children would be sleeping in, adding, "It will help me to know who is in which bedroom. Then I can plan better." The Watcher also claimed to see them, describing their car and the contractors working on the house. The family was paralyzed with fear. They stopped bringing their children to the house altogether. A third letter arrived a few weeks after that. This one was perhaps the most frightening. It asked, "Where have you gone to? 657 Boulevard is missing you." The Watcher seemed impatient, questioning why the family hadn't moved in yet. The letter continued with taunts about the house's secrets and what lay within its walls. "The house is crying from all of the pain it is going through," the letter stated. "You have changed it and made it so fancy. You are stealing its history." The Watcher's obsession was escalating, and the Broaddus family felt they were being stalked by an unseen entity. The police investigation struggled to find any solid leads. They interviewed neighbors, but nothing came of it. DNA analysis on the envelopes was inconclusive. The family hired their own private investigators, including former FBI agents. They looked into everyone, from neighbors to former housekeepers. One theory pointed to a nearby family, the Langfords, whose house had a clear view of 657 Boulevard. The matriarch, Peggy Langford, had passed away, and her adult children lived in the home. One of them, Michael Langford, was interviewed by police, but he denied any involvement, and there was no evidence to link him to the letters. Completely unnerved, the Broaddus family decided they could never live in the house. Their dream had turned into a source of constant anxiety and paranoia. 6 months after buying it, they put 657 Boulevard back on the market. But the story of the Watcher had spread, making the house almost impossible to sell. Potential buyers were scared away. They even tried to get permission to tear down the house and split the lot into 2 smaller homes. But the local planning board denied their request after neighbors protested, worried about property values. Feeling trapped, the Broaddus family filed a lawsuit against the previous owners, the Woods, arguing that they should have disclosed the first letter they received. The lawsuit brought the story into the public eye, turning the Watcher house into a national sensation. It was a legal battle that added even more stress to their already harrowing experience. Eventually, the lawsuit was dismissed. The Broadduses were left with a house they couldn't live in and couldn't sell. Desperate, they managed to find a family willing to rent the property in 2016. For a while, things were quiet. The renters lived there without incident. But then, in February 2017, just as the renters' lease was about to end and the Broadduses were once again trying to sell, a fourth letter arrived. This one was the most vitriolic yet. It was addressed to the vile and spiteful Derek and his wench of a wife, Maria. The Watcher taunted them about their financial losses and their failed attempts to sell. It spoke of revenge and suggested the house would meet a terrible fate, mentioning car accidents, fires, or sudden illness. Maybe a car accident. Maybe a fire. Maybe something as simple as a mild illness that never seems to go away. You are despised by the house, and the Watcher won. Finally, after 5 long years of terror and financial strain, the Broaddus family sold 657 Boulevard in July 2019. They took a significant financial loss, selling the house for just over $950,000, about $400,000 less than what they paid. The new owners have not reported receiving any letters and have requested privacy. The identity of the Watcher remains a complete mystery to this day. Was it a jealous neighbor, a disgruntled former employee, or just a cruel, elaborate prankster who took things way too far? The case is still technically open, but with no new leads. It has gone cold. The story of the Watcher house is a terrifying reminder that sometimes the most frightening monsters are the ones you can't see, lurking just beyond your front door. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more mysteries.